Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. As we get into the latest and after yesterday's game, I think it's safe to say we're feeling better, much. And the preview that's coming up next on this channel is dropping tomorrow, because we've got a game on the weekend, haven't we? And that's against Brentford. That's on Saturday. We play on Saturday, I'm pretty sure. So there's no room for rest. And that preview will be dropping tomorrow. So make sure you guys are here for that. Much appreciated. Now, let's get into the news. Now, normally what happens, once Chelsea are in a situation which isn't so positive, right? What tends to happen is the club tries to get as much PR out as possible in order to calm everyone down and give something that everyone wants to hear. I think they've kind of run out of that, but now we've got news which I don't feel like many people were expecting to come out like right now, but it's not come from the club, respectfully. It's come from an old player. And it's in regards to, without question, the biggest transfer talking point at Chelsea Football Club to come next summer. Who is it? Without a doubt, it's Mr. Victor Osimhen. And like I've said, we haven't got any briefs, we haven't got any journalists, we haven't got all that kicking off. It all came out because Mikel had an interview. And he spoke at the Web Summit in Qatar. And he was asked, and he spoke about Victor Osimhen. So what did he have to say? Let's get cracking. Here is Mikel. So, Mikel told Ben Jacobs at the Web Summit in Qatar that he is now Victor Osimhen's agent. He said that as a joke, right? He's not actually his agent. We just got to clarify that, because I know some people are actually going to think, oh, Mikel's his agent. Like, no. But you get the gist. He's trying to be like what an agent would normally do. We keep reading. And says he wants to come to Chelsea despite a lot of interest, including from PSG and Manchester United. He says, I am pushing him. I hope he comes to Chelsea. So there's more clarification on top of this as well, so we got it here. Mikel says he's Victor Osimhen's so-called agent, and says he wants to come to Chelsea despite a lot of interest, and he's pushing him, and he hopes that he ends up coming to Chelsea. On top of this, during that clip, he said that without question there's interest from others, but he reckons that Victor Osimhen has in his head that he is really driven at the fact to follow in the same footsteps as Mikel did at Chelsea. The Nigerian contingency at Chelsea. So Mikel, Celestine Babayaro, if you remember Babayaro, for pre-Roman. Victor Moses, if you remember Victor Moses. So there's that lineage. And Mikel made it clear that to Victor Osimhen, that is a selling point, really. And it's something that has definitely sparked interest in terms of what he could carry on and what he could actually elevate. So Mikel mentioned that. And he also mentioned the fact that coming to a club like Chelsea, you'd be based in London. He made it clear in order to importantly say that you go to somewhere else like Liverpool, for example, well, you are living in Liverpool. And all due respect to Liverpool and the North, but for multi-million pound millionaires that play football at the highest level, London is the place to be. Right, I think that's and I can testify as a Londoner, and all the Londoners will be watching. Will be watching. Will testify this too. It's a very expensive city to live in. If you've got the bread, trust me, it's the best city to live in. Well, nowadays, let's just say it's one of the best. Some people will call out Dubai. Some people will call out a place like Qatar. Some people will say go to Miami. But you get the gist. London, if you've got bread, yeah, if you've got money, you've got everything you need in London. So there's that. That's definitely a selling point for any footballer, which is why I've got one eye on Arsenal. Because Arsenal have everything we have, but they've got more. They're competing in a title race. They are in the Champions League. They've got all of that, and they've got everything else we got. We no longer have that. We used to have that leverage on them. Where Chelsea are Chelsea. Like, listen, even in our bad season, we're getting to the semi-final of the Champions League or the quarter-final or whatever. So you're rest assured, mate. Don't worry. We're competing. Now, anyway, let's keep moving with some of the things that we saw previously in regards to Osimhen and what could be clicking. Because not long ago, Victor Osimhen did make it public that he's already made this decision, didn't he? Yeah, let's check these out. So, on the 13th of November, John Obi Mikel, in an interview with Osimhen on the Obi-Wan podcast, was saying, next season, I know you're going to come to Chelsea, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to be the agent to broker the deal. I'm going to make sure that happens. We are crying out for someone like you. Since Drogba left the club, we remember this. Way after that, we heard Victor Osimhen say, I have already made my decision on the next step to do at the end of the season. I already made up my mind. I already have my plan. I know what I want to do. The next step I want to take, he told CBS. What is that step? I have to be honest. I think it is Chelsea. But that doesn't mean that the deal's going to happen. And I'll get to that point in a sec. De Laurentiis of Napoli, the Napoli president, good old ADL. Yeah, long time no see, mate. I hope you're good. A nuisance to deal with. He said this. Some players stay for many years. Others are wanted by PSG, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. It's difficult to keep players when they are wanted by rich clubs. I can confirm there's a release clause, a very high one. We know this. We know that the release clause is around 103, 105 million pounds. Cool. That will be triggered. By who? Well, this is where I get to the point that I wanted to mention. Chelsea have an opportunity here on a plate, and even in the situation that we're in, I'm actually crazily flipping baffled as to how this is still a possibility with how we are moving as a club right now, right? That we could actually still tempt and persuade Osimhen to come to Chelsea. It's there. Trigger the release clause and everything else, just because of what Chelsea used to be, might actually be enough to get it across the line. However, this is where I say the ball isn't even in Victor Osimhen's court. The ball is in our court. Are Chelsea going to pay Osimhen the required salary that will get him to the club? That's the question. If it's a no, forget it. On top of that, we need to be clear. What's the FFP situation at the club? What's that saying? We still question marks on that. But realistically, FFP, we might be able to, dwindle the numbers and sell a little bit here and sell a bit there and watch out on the spending and this, that, and do some maths, yeah? 2 + 2 = 4. Might have to get Michael Dapper in to do the maths, someone that can count. Quick maths. But are you going to pay him the salary? Because PSG are interested in him. You best believe they are going to pay him the salary. Arsenal have an eye. We already know this because there's Osimhen and Tony. Arsenal have an eye. Are they going to pay him the salary? You best believe they are going to pay him the salary because Arsenal are not a club that's going to go and break the bank for about 6 players. They just need little tweaks, and a striker is one of them. So they'll be able to pay the required salary that's needed to get a player like Osimhen through the door. With Chelsea, though, we know about this brand new 150k salary cap. Some people are going to reference Sterling and Fofana and these guys that are on big money. Well, yeah, we done that prior to getting all of this through the door. We done that prior to really getting Winstanley and Stewart in and shifting the focus over to Igbali rather than Todd Boehly. Todd Boehly's taken a step back. This is common knowledge. And he's still responsible, don't get me wrong, but the big fish is Clearlake and the big fish is Winstanley and Stewart. And those are the guys that are making the key decisions at the club at the moment. It's not Todd Boehly. He's the face. So prior, when he was the sporting director, yeah, he looked like a kid in a toy store. He looked like he was just going, money over there, I want that one. Money over, I want that one. Like Little Britain, I want that one. I want that one. Yeah, hello. Like that, I hope that was a good impression. But That's where it comes in now. We know about this salary cap, and look, I'll be honest, we're basing all our decisions on data. If we're talking about Victor Osimhen, I think it's pretty clear. Look, if the data is not mentioning Victor Osimhen, the data is broken, and we've already figured out, I think the data is broken. But you get the gist. Are we going to pay him the salary? You have to. If you want Osimhen, you have to pay him the required dollar. You have to. We're talking minimum 250k a week. Minimum. I don't even think that's enough. I think it will hit close to the 300k margin. I think it will. Why? Because of the competition. If no club was in for him, it might be easier. With PSG looking and Arsenal looking, mate, we ain't got a choice. So, I asked a question to Chelsea. What are you going to do? We have the keys. Are you going to use it and open a door? Or are you going to throw it in the river? Your decision. Let's see what happens. Now, let's shift focus before we end the video with the latest coming out of Liverpool. This came out yesterday. More on Liverpool plans. FSG want new structure to be decided as soon as possible. It won't take long. Final attempt for Mikel Edwards with an answer soon, or they will move on in March. This is crucial as LFC want the new structure before appointing a new manager. What was that? LFC want a new structure before appointing a new manager. So what's the latest on Mikel Edwards? Hold that thought. I'm going to come back to that point that I've just mentioned. Here's the latest on Mikel Edwards. Understand Mikel Edwards is considering whether to hold face-to-face talks with FSG chiefs in the coming days. Ian Graham is at the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, and it's possible Edwards travels to Boston as well. Full clarity on Edwards' position expected by early March. Now, as you can see, Edwards on the left over here has been sporting director at Liverpool before. He left the role, he's taken a sabbatical, he wanted to stay away from football for a little while, and there have been other clubs interested. However, he's not wanted to get back into work. And look, Chelsea apparently did make an approach to try and hold some sort of talks before. He wasn't interested. He didn't want to come back to football. He wanted a sabbatical, which is what he's been having, right? And Ben Jacobs clarifies this. A reminder, Edwards doesn't want to be a sporting director. He is hoping for a CEO of football type role and or equity. If he agrees to LFC, it's possible Bournemouth's Richard Hughes is targeted for the sporting director role. Liverpool naturally have a range of candidates, and Barry Hunter, Dave Fallows working together in an enhanced role also can't be ruled out yet, but all depends on Edwards first and whether he can be persuaded to return. Listen, Chelsea approached him for the director role. He wants a CEO role? What are we waiting for? What? This is it. This is the flipping one. Go and get him. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. If Chelsea had a brain cell, right? The owners. They had a brain cell between them. They'd realise the actual one position that we need at this club. If you're so hell-bent on keeping Winstanley and Stewart, right, flipping get someone that you can put above them. To educate them in the role at least. To show them how to operate at the highest level. Mikel Edwards wants to be CEO on the footballing side. It's perfect. It's what we need. It's what we need. We're not gonna move though. So Liverpool have gone back in for him. And he's considering. We'll see if the talks are going to move. But I want to return back to the point that was made. LFC want a new structure before appointing a new manager. This is why I'm saying, if Pochettino gets sacked tomorrow, let's say, even end of the season, what, are people excited because the next manager's coming in? I'm not. Unless if things change at the director level, if things change at the level that I've just mentioned, you're going to get the same people that made the decision to appoint Graham Potter, to sack Graham Potter, to bring Lampard in on an interim, to say see you later to him, to bring Poch in, to get rid of him, to get the next guy? Like I said before, I wouldn't trust them to run a bath. A bath. If they were here right now and they were running me a bath, I'd tell them, stop, and leave. I'll do it. I wouldn't trust him. We have to change that element of the structure first. Get a top director in or someone above that, as mentioned here. If we're going to get a CEO of the footballing side, at least because Chelsea have a CEO on the business side, or just a CEO, but he's so business orientated and he's part of the Clear Lake guys. So there's that. You can still have your job on the business side, not a problem. But a CEO on the football side would be absolutely what we need. Unless something like that is done, or Winstanley and Stewart are replaced with someone proper, like at the level of Edwards, we're going to be turning in circles. Best believe. So, I wanted to make that clear. Now, to wrap up, big news came out today. Let me know your thoughts on that last point. And let's get cracking into this. It's a sad day for Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has been banned from football for 4 years due to doping. 4 years. Now, he is going to appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. So CAS, they will be listening to the appeal. I don't think it's going anywhere, if I'm being completely honest. But 4 years out, incredible. It's going to be interesting to see what more info now starts flooding out, because there was a clip of him at Man United coming off the pitch and being told that he's got to go and do a doping test, right? And he's looking and he's going, doping? Really? Again? You know, and he was getting frustrated at it. Can you read in between the lines there? Who's to say? No one knows. Maybe he just done a lot and he doesn't want to do another one. Or maybe his conscience is kicking in. Who knows? Who knows? So it's going to be interesting to see what the fallout of this is going to be. But right now, he has been banned for 4 years and he's 30, just turning 31. He'll be back playing football at 34, 35 years old. Career's over, mate. Some people were saying Saudi will go in for him. Why would they? In 4 years' time, when he's not played for 4 years, you think Saudi are going to waste that money? Even if it's a lot of money, they're going to waste it on him. No. They're going to try and get, even if it's a 30-year-old or 31-year-old, rather than a 34, 35-year-old that's not played for 4 years. There's no point. There's no investment there. Saudis are all about, where's the investment? Where can we put loads of money to end up with even more money later? Or more prestige, more eyes, more power, more... Pogba's not going to deliver any of that. Not being out the game for 4 years. So, yeah. It's a sad day because Pogba, a player like Pogba, you just didn't think it would end like this, but it's ended like this. Such a terrible way for it to end. For his career to now possibly be over, like it's finished, like this, terrible. It's not even through the back door. It's through the tiny, small, little rat door. It's just a really, really tragic way to end a career, man. So let me know your thoughts on that, and much appreciated. And do not forget to be here for the preview tomorrow between Chelsea and Brentford, or Brentford versus Chelsea, because we got to go to Brentford. Or do we play at home? No, it's an away game, I think. I'm pretty certain it's an away game. It is. It's at Brentford. So make sure you're catching the Brentford versus Chelsea preview tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, of course, and the notification bell to be notified. Socials are in the description, including TikTok and Insta, where I am posting there frequently, including the match highlights of yesterday. So make sure you're there. The watch-along highlights, sorry, not the match highlights. Copyright and that. So I'll see all of you tomorrow. Thank you all so much. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.